Hi, welcome to National Trail. I'm Brian Poole, the technology director here at National Trail. I'm in room 203 of the high school. I am a high school computer science teacher half-time and the tech director and tech integration specialist the other half of the time. Traditionally, I teach on orange days, so brown days are reserved for repairing tech, for assisting teachers, whatever you need. So just keep that in mind that orange days are usually my teaching days. It could switch this year. Extension's 1235. That's my email address there. Welcome to National Trail. National Trail is a fantastic place to work. I've been here since 2003 when I left the active duty Air Force, stayed here while I was in the reserves, retired in 2017 for the reserves. But National Trail has been a fantastic place to be. K-12, all-inclusive school system with basically separate hallways for all three of the schools. National Trail has been a technology leader since 2012. We were one of the 5 schools in the state of Ohio chosen for the Blended Learning Grant Initiative that we were part of. We got lots of training back in 2012, 13, and 14 on blended learning, one-to-one, flipping classrooms, all the various blended learning models. And those teachers that were here in that time frame, particularly in grades 8 through 12, are some of the most trained people in the district on many of these things. We are one-to-one, K through 12. K through 4 is iPads, and grades 5 through 12 are Windows 11 laptops. In some grades, those are issued to students to take home, particularly this year, grades 8 through 12, and grades 5, 6, and 7 have classroom sets of laptops to use in their classrooms. As far as technology training goes, I'm available on brown days to come to you and help you. I like to work with teacher teams and grade level teams and subject matter teams on what you need in your classroom. We have a huge array of PD training on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.nationaltrail.us. There's actually over 725 videos on there at this time. Many of them are me. Some of them are other teachers that are given classes at in-services and different technology things. If you Google whatever you're looking for and the words YouTube and NTLS Tech, you'll most likely come to our page and find the answer on how to do almost anything there. We also do a annual technology skills in service. This is one example of last year's with 8 to 10 options that you can choose to go to that day at 4 different time frames you can see on here throughout the day for you to get technology skills training and whatever you feel that you need to get training in. That technology skills in service is every March, because in February, we take a team to the Ohio Educational Technology Conference every single year, between 6 to 8 people, so 2 to 3 people from each school building. And they go there for 3 days, stay in a hotel, go to 4 to 5 classes a day, with the idea of bringing back 2 classes that they would then teach to the rest of the staff at this technology skills in service. That's how we continue to expand what we learn and how we do things here at National Trail. Always, I'm available for questions if you need me. We'll talk a little bit more about the PD. If you email me and ask me a question, I will most likely email you back a YouTube video. And if I don't have a YouTube video answering that question, I'll most likely make a YouTube video and email you the YouTube video, because if you ask the question, someone else will too. And I like to have the answer already made in our site for kind of self-help when it works out on your plan. That being said, again, you can always schedule for me to come to you on your plan time during a brown day to help you out one-to-one, or you can come over here to get help here one-to-one as well. Okay, let's get into the trail specific stuff here. As far as our logging on to our PCs, our laptops, our website, our Moodle site, which is our learning management system, you're going to have a username that is your first initial and last name, unless that one's already used. My wife's name is Beth. I've already got B Pool, so hers is BE Pool because E is our middle initial, and that's basically how it's going to work. If you're emailing a student, it's always going to be their graduation year, their first initial, last name, again, unless that's already being used by someone else, in which case they'll get their middle initial as well. Gmail addresses are the same username, but at nationaltrail.us. And these are basically the three accounts you're going to have at Trail. You're going to have your local logon, you're going to have your Gmail logon, which then gets you to most other things. Most things, if I can set it up single sign-on to Aubrey and Parent Square and Clever, you're just going to log on to Google and then click to log on as Google. And Securely and eHall Pass, all those things use your Google sign-on to get onto. And Dazzle is our student information system, part of the Progress Book Suite. We really only use it for attendance and school lunch counts and grades at the end of the year or the end of the quarter. And I do not control that username and password. Swoka does, and the district office does. So mine is, for instance, NTHS_BP. It's usually the school underscore near initials, again, unless that's already been used. And you'll get assigned an initial password by the district office on that. I highly recommend you make all these passwords the same. When you log on to your PC for the first time, your laptop, when you log on to Google for the first time, it's going to ask you to set up a username and password. I highly, highly encourage you to do something that you will remember, not put on a Post-it note under your keyboard or anywhere else, and make them all exactly the same password. My recommendation is always to use something like your mother or father's middle name, maiden name, grandpa's middle name, something that you will know and nobody else does. And then some number combination at the end, like when you change your password, and maybe a special character, but something you're going to remember. So that's how our usernames and passwords are set up. And you're going to get a laptop. If you haven't already, when a laptop assigned to you, then you'll be able to test that later on today to make sure that you can get into those two things. In fact, why don't we pause right here so that if you want to use your laptop during any of the subsequent stuff, why don't we pause right here, make sure everybody can log on to the laptop and my internal hand out your laptop at this time if you don't have one, and also log on to Gmail. I do want to point out one thing. We're a Chrome district. We use Google Chrome. And when we log on, I'm going to go through the process of logging on to make sure everybody understands what I'm saying when I say that. Many times when people are logged on to email, they look for their picture down here and say, I'm logged on to email right now. And I am. However, we're highly stressing that you don't log onto your email, that you log on to Chrome. So when you also see that same picture up here, and it says, I'm signed in, and that sync is on. So when you log on and it asks if you want to sync, please say yes. That way, all your passwords, your logons, your bookmarks, all those things are saved for you. So if you log on to your laptop and then your PC, you've got the exact same stuff. If we have to wipe your PC or your laptop to fix something, as soon as you log on to Chrome, you've got those things back for yourselves again. So right now, let's go ahead and make sure we've got the laptops, and let's get logged on to both the laptop and set your password and get on Gmail and make sure our password's set on Gmail. You may be able to, on your Gmail, get your Dazzle username and password. If you don't have that, you don't need to try to log into that right now, but it would probably be helpful if you saw. But we cannot reset your username and password on Dazzle. That's done through the district office. So we'll pause right there. I'm going to pause. Okay, that was me pausing. Hopefully you pause the video before you move on. So that's how our username and passwords work. When it comes to technology support, you should have an icon on your desktop that looks just like this. It says Request Tech Help. If you need something, if you see me in the hallway and tell me, it does not count. I guarantee you that from one end of the hallway to the other in the hallway, at least one, if not two more people have got a hold of me and told me things that they want me to do or fix or work on. If you don't put it in the work order system, it doesn't count. I will forget. And I'm going to tell you that when you grab me in the hall and say, hey, I really need this. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go back to my room. Can you put it in a work order? By the time I get to my room, you may have ceased to exist because a bunch of other people may have done the same thing. So I really need you to do that. You can email helpdesk@nationaltrail.us because sometimes your work order is my computer won't work. In which case you can't do that, but you could use your phone and email helpdesk@nationaltrail.us or use the help desk button, which is better because if you use the help desk button, then you'll get emails and messages every single time that we do something on your work order and until we close it. By the way, work orders cannot be deleted. They can only be closed. And you'll get a notification that it was closed. And if I close it, you think it's not done, you can hit a button to reopen it again. That being said, if it's a teacher emergency, you can put a work order, but call my room. I will drop everything for a teacher emergency. And what's a teacher emergency? It means you can't teach. The computer won't come on, your projector won't come on. One of those things that's preventing you from teaching your lesson is what I call a teacher emergency. And I will put down everything I'm doing to help you get back to work. Back to teaching. So if it's, my phone isn't working, that's not a teacher emergency. Okay. If it's, I'm having a problem with my laptop today and you don't teach with your laptop, that's not a teacher emergency. Teacher emergencies are, I can't teach. I want you to call my extension 1235. If you don't get me on my extension, I want you to call the high school office. If they don't know where I am, they know my cell phone number and they'll call my cell phone or they'll page me because if you can't teach, to me, that's an emergency and I want to get you back up and running immediately. So that's that. Student devices, rule number 3, they're never an emergency. Never ever call my room about a student laptop. I don't care. No, I do care, but I'm not going to drop anything that I'm doing for a student laptop. We have specific procedures for student devices. And that is, if you've got an issue with the student device, you send them to the library. The librarian will have them fill out a sheet on what their issue is, and they will give them a spare to use until we get it fixed the next day. Now, that sheet is really easy to fill out for high school students. We ask that middle school students have their teachers help them fill that out. The form is very simple. You can't really see it from here, but it's student name, date, grade, the laptop number, which is on the laptop, their homeroom in case we need to send it to the room or something. And then it's just a bunch of checklists of which one of these things is wrong. These are the common things that happen all the time. And I know you really can't read this from there. But it's like broken screen, black screen, blue screen, won't turn on, battery doesn't charge, bad keyboard, cracked case, software issue. You get the idea. They just have to check that. There's a whole box here that they can fill in more information for us to help us figure out what's going wrong with their laptop. And then there's an area down here on the bottom that says, if the laptop does not start, please indicate the name, location, and file type of any documents you need moved to your network drive. We're going to talk about network drives in a second. Every student, every staff member, every employee here at Trail has a network drive that they can save their stuff on and get to any other device. We really want students to keep stuff on the network drive or the Google Drive so that if they turn in their laptop, they don't lose their stuff. But if it's important, if they're doing a PowerPoint in your class, a paper in your class, and it's saved on that laptop, they better write down on the bottom of this what it is so that I can save it for them, because 90% of the time when it comes into our lid, we wipe it completely. They get it back completely clean with the current software, with all the virus patches and everything redone. And if they don't fill this out right, then they may be unhappy. So high school kids are pretty good about filling it out. Middle school kids are not. And many times we can't read them. So we really ask that middle school teachers and it will make it way faster for them to get the spare. If it's already filled out, we just take it in, librarian go, oh, it's all filled out. Here's your spare, sign it out. They're back in your class within 5 minutes. Okay, rule number 4. See rule number 1. You can tell me, but you have to submit a work order ticket. If you just tell me something and didn't submit a ticket, it may never happen, because maintaining 650 iPads, 800 laptops, 200 PCs, 23 servers, and all the network, sometimes I'm overwhelmed. And if I don't have a work order ticket to make sure I do it, it may not get done. So I really, really want to get stuff done for you and for everyone quickly. This is my turnaround time that I want. An hour for staff. I want you to call me. Please call me if something's wrong. Do not do like one teacher did last year, which is that in May, put in a work order ticket that said, hey, over the summer, can you get my Mimeo to work and move my monitor to the other desk because my Mimeo didn't work all year? What? That's very upsetting to me that you have a technology that doesn't work all year. I want to know, I want to fix it. Plus, I have a tech team during the school year that don't have a summertime. I would like to make sure everything works. Okay, so on here, ask if you want something. If you want a laptop, everyone here is going to get one. If you want any classroom tech that you haven't been assigned before, you have to ask me for me to know. Don't assume at Trail that the answer is going to be no. You can almost assume the answer is going to be yes, unless you ask for multiple projectors in your room, which the answer is going to be no. Every room has only one projector, mine included. There's only one room in the entire district that has 2 projectors, and that's Mr. Rice's, because the middle school computer lab was for years the primary place where all staff training went on. So he has 2. Don't ask for 2. 1 projector per room. That's one thing that I will say you probably going to get nowhere. If you have a question, check our YouTube channel at youtube.nationaltrail.us. If there isn't a video there, I will make one. If you email me and say, I don't know how to do this, I will look, email it right to you, or make a video and email it to you. Okay. No matter what, you have to ask for me to help you out. Work order response, I've already got that. I already went over that. 1 hour for teachers, same day for staff. Teachers have the highest priority to me. Okay, that's part of me being a teacher too. You've got 100 kids coming through your room in a day. You need your stuff to work. A staff member has a laptop that they could just grab and work on until it gets done, right? And then students in general, 24 hours turnaround is what it usually is. Last year, our advanced tech class was 4th block Orange Day, which means all laptops that were turned in for students got fixed every Orange Day 4th block. So if you turn it in on a brown day, the next brown day, it's always done. If you turn it on an orange day, it's probably done the next day. Just as a rule of thumb, the librarian emails students as the items gets fixed. As far as workstations, everybody's on a Windows 11 workstation now. We upgraded them all over the summer. All of them have 32 gig RAM and M.2 SSDs, unless they wouldn't take one. They may have regular SSDs. Everybody got brand new 13th gen transformer, touchscreen, backlit, really nice laptops. If you don't have one, well, you should, because we already paused and handed those out. They're very nice new laptops. They're probably yours for your stay at Trail because they're so new. They're still under warranty, and if you don't know, all of our stuff comes from the military. These were military laptops that we got for pallets of them this summer for free that I don't know why the military ordered them and didn't use them, but we won. So everybody's got all new systems this summer. If you need anything, though, please ask. There are some users that are much higher video card users than other, and if the video system on your PC isn't sufficient to do what you need, I have some other video cards that we can add if needed to. But they're pretty good systems, and they should last you for a while. As far as classroom tools, all of our classrooms have a number of tools available to them, and if you don't, all you have to do is ask, we'll get it there. The first one is a digital whiteboard. Some of you have Mimio's in your room. I'm a Mimio user. I've got a Mimio right there in my room that I'm working off of right now. Some of you have smart boards. It is a user preference. Whichever one you want is the one you get. If you don't like what you have, you can switch to the other one. However, I highly, highly, highly hope that you use your digital whiteboard. We have a number of teachers who don't. And it's, to me, sad, because if they tried it, they would never stop. Once you use a digital whiteboard for any extended period of time, you realize how much more efficient it makes you and all the thing it brings to you. My next door neighbor, Lon Swihart, was a very veteran science teacher. And 10 years ago, I got smartboards on a grant for the science department. And Lon said, I don't need one at all. And I said, Lon, I'll make you a deal. Let me put it in your room. Use it for 2 weeks. At the end of 2 weeks, if you don't like it, I'll take it out. I'll never bother you about it again, ever. And at the end of 2 weeks, Lon said, if you take that in my room, I'm quitting. And I do not kid about that. And Lon was a very veteran teacher. But once he got used to all the things that a digital whiteboard brings to you, he realized just the myriad of things that it does for you. And I'm going to mention some of those things for those of you who may or may not use a digital whiteboard. Number one, I used to teach on a dry erase board. Before that, on the chalkboard in the room that I have that's across the hall now. When I was done with one thing, I spent 2 minutes erasing it before I went on the next thing. Smartboard, I go, bunk, or any digital whiteboard, a bunk, and I have a clean slate. And when a student asks about what we went over, I go, bunk, and I go back to this slide or the board that I just had up. I save probably 10 minutes a day, and I say that serious, on cleaning my board. I'm also neurotic. I want to really clean. I've probably, anyway, cleaning my board and then rewriting the stuff that I just erased because somebody else is, somebody's a little slow on, can you explain that again? Okay. I've got to go back and try to remember everything I wrote down. So that's just one thing. The other thing is at the end of the class, I can export that as a PDF and I can put it on my learning management system. I can post it on Moodle, and all my students now have access to the things that I wrote down. And I know some teachers will say students need to learn how to take notes. Okay. What's more important to me is that they learned, number one. Number two, note-taking is becoming a digital thing anyway, that do they need to learn how to take notes, or do they learn how to use their digital tools to take notes for them? It's an argument, but you can support them better. Number three, because I'm using a digital whiteboard, I can record what I'm teaching, and I record every single class, every single lesson, every single day. And I post all of those on YouTube and link them to my Moodle calendar. Anybody who misses my class can hear and see exactly what we did in class that day. Anyone that was in my class that I talked too fast for, and I have been told I talk too fast on more than one occasion, can play it again. They can play it slower. They can play me at 75% if they want to. They can listen to just the section that they didn't understand. My last year in my class, over half of my students were IEP students. I had one student who the IEP teacher came in and said, that student cannot read anything. It says third grade reading level, but he can't read at all. You got to be in my class. You got to be in my class with no extra effort by me, because I believe very strongly in making my class UDL. I do everything for everyone that I do for a IEP student, and everyone has all the supports I do for everyone. So I record every class. I record every question so that if you don't know how to read, you can put in your headphones and listen to me reading the question in Moodle as you take the test. You don't have to be able to read it. You don't have to get confused when you're reading it. You can just listen to it being read to you by me, or you can use a screen reader, either one. And I take away that whole barrier. some things you can only do with a digital whiteboard. And it allows me to save my lessons and tweak them every year. I have the last 10 years of my hardware class saved as Chapter 4, 2024, Chapter 4, 2025. I just opened last year's, save it as this year's, and then I edit as I go to update it and tweak things as necessarily. You can't do that on a chalkboard. If you use your digital whiteboard for 1 week, you will know how to use it and you will not have any questions. If you don't know how to use it, just call me, ask me to come to your room during your planned day. I'll take 10 minutes to show you how to do the basics, and from there on, you'll be good to go. It is very easy, and once you do it, you'll never stop doing it. But if you say, I'll do it once I learn how to do it so I don't embarrass myself, and I've heard that several times from teachers, I don't want to embarrass myself in class. I need to make sure I know how to use it first. And that person never, ever used it. So enough said on digital whiteboards. Everyone's got one. If you don't like the one you've got, we can switch it and we can move it higher if needed. We had a couple people this summer is like, I really want it 2 feet higher because I'm tall enough to reach it. And I want my kids to be able to see it better. Okay, fine. Just ask. Other tools. Everyone's got a document camera. If you don't have a document camera, it's been lost somewhere. Ask for it. If it's not in focus, ask me. I'll come down, and usually it's a resolution issue. We change the resolution, thing works fine. You can use it to record lessons. You can use it as a webcam, like I'm using this camera right now. You can go and you can record yourself teaching if you want to. By the way, the best basic way to teach record teaching doesn't include you, like I'm green screen right now. If you like green screen, that's great. I think you being, in fact, research shows that you being in the video is way better than just a screen recording. I didn't used to be. 10 years ago, if you watch my YouTube videos, not in a single one. Lon, the next door neighbor, came over one day to one of my Tech Tuesdays and said, your videos are really hard to watch when we're just watching the screen. Is there any way you could be in them? And I said, okay. And I'm completely comfortable, obviously, at this point, being in them. I've got 3 cameras in my room. I got one above, I got one right there, I got one over there, because the students would rather have you be in the picture. But if you're not comfortable with it, don't do it. You should only do what you're comfortable with. But you can use your document camera, point it at you, and you can put yourself in the corner of the video. And that's the way I started. I didn't start green screen. In fact, if you look at my classroom videos, I'm just letterboxed down in the corner as the screen's there. So you do see me, but it's not like this. If you're somebody who wants to green screen, my whole wall's green screened, which you can't really see because it's the wall. We have a green screen lab in the loft of the library that anybody can use anytime. And if you're like, I want a green screen every day, and that's being used, is there any way I can do something in my room? The answer is absolutely. We have 4 teachers who have green screen cloths in their room that they hang up to do green screens in the room as well. You just have to ask. And if that's the case, you'll probably get a little slightly better video camera, although some of these are really high definition document cameras as well. Obviously, if you're going to record, you need a microphone, and everyone should have a microphone. These are 3 of the different versions of microphones that we use in the class. Mine's also a digital blue microphone that you're listening to me on right now. In the high school, it might already be mounted on the ceiling. During the blended learning, mounted cameras above all the digital whiteboards so teachers could record themselves without there being a camera out there, or a microphone out there that you had to worry about being connected to or anything else. If you can't find your mic, look in your technology tub. Every classroom at one point had a technology tub with their label on it. The idea was you put all your technology remotes and stuff in there over the summer and clip it down and you get it all. We didn't take it. It just didn't wander off and it stayed in that classroom. But if you can't find it, just let us know and we'll get you a microphone. And if yours, especially the one on the far side over there, my hand disappeared, the far side over there, those are the first ones we bought. It's totally possible that you need a new one since then. So let me know. As far as classroom tech, look in your tech tub, call if it doesn't work, ask if you need something else. I've had several occasions where teachers like, yeah, I always wanted to get this, but I was always afraid you say no. And the answer is no if you don't ask. So it'd be better to ask me. There are years where I spend a fraction of my tech budget. That was not the case last year because of all the new computers we just did and upgrading the memory and the CPUs. But some years that's not the case. And if you're asking me in December and I'm halfway through the year and I've used 1/10 of my tech budget and it's not something ludicrous, then the answer is probably going to be yes. Sometimes those classroom tech requests are really school requests. For instance, Heidi Perry has a bunch of sensors that she uses, and I think Jonathan Bryant does as well. Those were bought through the school for that particular class. Those aren't really tech items per se. Those are really classroom items that, yes, they connect to a computer and stuff. But ask. Don't just wait. Okay. Network drives. I already mentioned this once. Everyone has a network drive. They're called a T drive for teachers, an S drive for students. Same thing. It's a network drive that's yours, only you can get to. I can't even get to it as me. I have to log on as a special admin account if I need to help find something for you. But no one can get to your account or to your T drive items unless they're logged on as you. They are backed up every single night. They are archived every single week to 2 different places, and I have the last 5 weeks of your documents at any given time. So if you accidentally delete something, and then are like, as long as you remember within 5 weeks, or I guess 6, because on the 6th week is when it gets overridden with a new one, I can recover that. And I used to have to do that all the time. 2 superintendents ago, Dr. Moore used to delete stuff on his network drive. It seemed like weekly. We have a very good backup plan. It goes to a different Windows server and to a Linux server that has no shares to keep a crypto virus from getting to it. But only those things on your T drive are backed up daily. If it's on your laptop, if it's on your desktop, and something happens, you get a crypto virus, which we have had once before here, and that file is gone, I can't do anything for you. If it's on your network drive, I can. So think about keeping them on your T drive. All those are stored internally. They have no bearing on whether the internet's up or down. And I'm going to say it's a 99% above that reliability. It has, in my 22 years here, the T drives have gone down twice. And I usually have stuff recovered and back up in a couple hours. So if you want to save them to your computer and back them up to your T drive or to your Google Drive, that's fine. You can get to your T drive from any mobile device. You go to tdrive.nationaltrail.us, which I have right here, or sdrive.nationaltrail.us for students, or mobile.nationaltrail.us. They all actually go to the same place. You can get to all those things. So if you save something here at school on your T drive, you can go to your home computer or be on your laptop at home and open it up and get to those documents. Getting to them is a little bit different though. So you have to go to that address, and it's going to ask you, I just logged on, so it's not even asking me, but it's going to ask you for your username and password, and that's your vPool and your password. It's not your Google password, it's your Trail password. This is my T drive. You can see, well, maybe you can see, it says T drive right there. And all the stuff on my T drive is right here. And if I have something on here, let's say I've got this PD material that I want to work on and I'm going to download this and I want to save this PDF. If I want to, well, that's a bad example because I can't edit that one. Let me give you a better example of something. See if I can find an actual document. There we go. I want to edit. I still can't. Okay, well, I'm just going to download it anyway. So I've got this document right here. If I right click on it, one of my options is download. So I can just go and download this to this local computer. And then it's going to say, oh, where do you want to save it? I'm going to save it wherever. And then I can work on that document. When I am done with the document on my computer at home and I want to put it back on my T drive, all I have to do is go to wherever I save that document. I'm going to go to downloads just to grab one. And I have this document right here that I want on my T drive at work. All I have to do is drag it onto the browser and I let go, and then it says, hey, you're going to upload this file. I click upload and the file's there. It just moved it right there into my T drive right there. And so this is what the web interface looks like. And if I go to Explorer and look at my T drive, that exact same file is right there. There's that graphics card project that I just uploaded from there. That's a grading rubric. So that's how that mobile drive works, is that you go to the website, you download it to your computer, you work on it, and then you drag it back to the website. And if it's already there, it's going to say, do you want to overwrite this file? And you say yes, and then it'll upload the new one. It's not like being here at Trail where you just click on it and it opens from your T drive. Because like right now, if I want to open up my T drive, which I'm on right now, you can see it says T drive, and I have all my teaching stuff there, and I want to open something and edit it. I just do it like it's a regular folder, right? If I wanted to do the same thing at home, I'd have to download it first and then upload. So hopefully I've explained network drives good enough. And that's what it looks like. It says T drive on your Explorer. Okay, we have a bunch of web pages that we have access to at Trail. The first one's our school website. It's www.nationaltrail.k12.oh.us or www.nationaltrail.us. This is where all of our information that we share with all of our stakeholders, our parents, and the community, that's where we post those things for them to be able to find things. So you can see, if I go here to schools, there's a drop down for each of the schools. So if I was a new kid in the high school and I click there, I could see any announcements, the high school calendar, the handbook, guidance information, scholarship information, all that stuff is right here on the schools under whichever school you're going to. Calendars, there's the calendar. So if I want to see the approved calendar for 2025-26, I can just click on that and see what the approved calendar is for that year. The idea is obviously that we're allowing our community to find out all those things. So we've got the approved calendar. This is a combined Google Calendar that shows everything going on in the district in every single one of the schools at any given time. So I'm going to go back. Let's see. Let's go back a little bit to when school was going on. I'm going to go to April. Maybe I'm going to go April. I'm trying to go on April. There we go. Okay, come on, April. Let's go. Okay, there we go. So at any given time, this is what was going on then. So if I want to pull up that date, I can see all the things that were going on that day at the school. That's what that combined district calendar is, as opposed to the calendars that we saw back here, like at the high school. This calendar is just the things that are going on in the high school. And I'll kind of give you a little peruse of the website. So that's what the calendars are. These are a bunch of links for parents, things that they might be looking for. It's under parents/students. It's also where if they're coming in the high school and they wanted to see who their teachers are, that's where I upload all the pictures and then create a link to your site that you have the ability to edit then. So if we click on mine, has a little information about what classes I teach and what I do and my background prior to coming to National Trail. It's just a little thing that they can learn about you if they wanted to from that part of the site. This is some resources that we're going to add here. It's not really done. District page, school page, the different departments out there, and then a list of links for staff members are up there. That's all on the school website. Most of this stuff you don't have to log in to see. If you log on, it's to edit your page or something. So if you're in charge of something and they want you to maintain it, your office or the district, then you would need to log in to be able to edit those pages. So that's the website. I'm going to skip Moodle for a second and go on to the other ones. The library website, just that library.nationaltrail.us allows you to see what's in our catalog and check things out. From our catalog, by the way, those links are also on these parent-teacher links. That one's not there, is it? I should add that one. The T-Drive I already went over. The Dazzle, which is our, I'm going to get to in just a second. So I'm going to kind of not skip ahead here because I think I have a link there. There's our school website. I already went over that. I forgot I had pages already made going over this stuff. And then our learning management system, Moodle. So if you've used a learning management system before, like Canvas or Blackboard, Moodle is very similar. If you've used Google Classroom, it's not similar. Google Classroom is not a learning management system. It does maybe a 20th of what Moodle does and what a true learning management system does. We have been using Moodle since 2005. And when we did the blended learning grant, we really realized everything that we could do with Moodle that maybe up to that point we weren't doing with Moodle. And it's for all grades K through 12. K through 4 uses an indicator-based report card that they do in Moodle. Grades 5 through 12 do all their assignments and all their grading and gradebook on Moodle so that the students and their parents can see those assignments from home and get to that stuff and support their kids from home. It's moodle.nationaltrail.us, and it's got so many things that you can do. I'm not going to be able to touch anything that Moodle does for you in this small orientation that I'm doing right now. There's a whole Moodle training course that you'll be assigned to do at your pace. I highly recommend you do it early because the more you know right now, the better off you'll be down the line. And we have a kind of a gap. You're going to see that our older teachers that went through the blending learning project and the initial onboarding on Moodle when we did it, have a very high knowledge of Moodle. And then some of our newer, less than 10-year teachers, I'm throwing them all together with newer, don't know nearly as much because we really kind of sat back and felt like, oh, we got it kind of thing. And I really feel like we haven't done enough training on it. I mean, all the videos are available and there's tons of stuff available to learn, but we haven't set aside specific time, which we did when we really ingrained in Moodle. Everybody got half a sub day and we did intensive training on Moodle in the beginning, and then we did the blended learning project. So this fall, we're doing a master's class on Moodle, not like master class. It's like a 3-hour master's class. You can get 1, 2, or 3 hours of master credit through Ashland University that I'll be doing at night in September, October, and November. It's 1 2-hour class and then online work that you do to fill in the rest of the 12 hours required for each hour of master's credit, but it's no cost to you. You can use it towards a master's degree. You can use it towards your master's plus 15. And the idea is to try to bring more of our staff up where Jonathan Bryant and Mike Birdsall and Jack Ebersol and a lot of the people that were here during that 2012, 13, 14 timeframe when we all got way more training are at. So it has a myriad of activities. This is what it looks like right now. When you log in, you see every viewable class that you're a student or a teacher in up here under your courses. If you are a teacher in a course that's hidden, it shows up down below. This is just a screen capture. I can't scroll down there. It's also where you'll see that the things that say PD, those are PD available to you to learn those things. So they're not really in order. I would say the first and most important one is the Moodle training, doing level 1, then maybe Moodle organization, and then maybe blended learning. The R Factor videos are here, and this is on how to record and post videos, which I already said that I do in my class, but maybe a little early during the initial phases to look at that there. So you'll see that PD Moodle training, which is basically, just so you know, we have a level system in Moodle. You're a teacher, then you're a level 1 teacher, then you're a level 2 teacher, and then you're a Moodle master. I think it says something else, but I'm just going to call it that. You see more options of things you can do as you level up, because if you're not a level 1 teacher, we don't want you to see Moodle lessons yet, because it's too complex. If you haven't figured out how to do a basic assignment, you shouldn't be doing lessons. So it also made it so that it made it a little simpler when you look at it, because there's a whole bunch of activities that you can do. This is not even all of them. This is just the activities. This isn't even the resources. No one is a master of all of them. No one. I have my favorite 5. And you can favorite them. You see the little stars right there? That means it's a favorite of mine. So when I go to activities, or when I go to add an item, it shows me my favorite 5. And then I can add other ones to be favorites if I want to, or take them away. I don't use that one anymore. My point is, you don't have to learn everything. You just have to learn the things that are important to you and that work well with your subject matter and your teaching style. Now, everyone's going to use an assignment. Everyone's going to use a page. Everyone's going to use a file. Those 3 things probably everyone's going to use, and the text and media area where you just put text on your page. Some of the other things don't hit me. A lot of people don't use feedbacks. I use feedbacks every single section. Every single section of every single day, I try to get feedback from my students. I use quizzes every 15 minutes in my class. I do formative assessments. I teach 15 minutes. Formative assessment. How do my kids do? Did they understand what I wanted? Move on or go back and start over again? Because I don't want to move on with them not understanding what I just went over. And there's no way to get that feedback and graded without using Moodle. You can't just hand out a paper and say, everybody take this quiz. And then number 1, anyway, you get the idea. So Moodle has lots of things for you to be able to do. Activities, resources. There's tons of training on our YouTube site. That page helps. And I'm going to tell you, please, please, please don't hesitate to call me and ask me to come down and sit with you during your playing time. 20 minutes together is probably worth 5 hours of trying to figure it out on your own sometime. And it doesn't have to be me. Dan Studebaker, technically new, but he was here back during 2012 training. Dan knows how to do tons of stuff. Heidi Perry knows how to do tons of stuff. My wife knows how to do tons of stuff. There's tons of teachers. And if you say, you just email me, who in my hallway do you think would be the best one to teach me this? I will know who to tell you that, oh, you know what? If you've got a question on Moodle quizzes, you should go and talk to Jonathan Bryan. He's right next door to you, and I know he does them all the time. I know who uses which activity. In fact, I can see it on Moodle as the administrator, who uses what activities a lot, so I can help you find, if it isn't me, who else does those things better than me. Okay, but Moodle is our learning management system. I'm going to move on from there. I could show you tons of stuff, but I feel like I might just not help you out by doing that. So let's see. Our next thing, I already showed you the library site, and I showed you the T drive, which is what this is, your mobile T drive that you'll be able to go and look at to get your documents on there. Dazzle is part of Progress Book. We only use it for the student management part. We don't do any grade book type stuff with Progress Book. That's what Moodle is for. I automatically upload the grades from Moodle to Dazzle, so you don't have to. There'll be a specific date and time. It's almost always the Tuesday at 10 o'clock that we say your grades must be current in Moodle by 10 o'clock on Tuesday, because that's when I'm going to run the process and it's going to upload them. If your grades weren't ready, then you do it by hand after that. But we use it. There should be a link on your desktop already. We use it for lunch counts. We use it for attendance, and we use it to verify our grades before they go on a report card. So I'll upload at 10 o'clock on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, you'll look and say, yep, my grades are good. That's exactly what I thought they should be. Or, oops, I forgot to put in this test, and you'll just change them as needed. But that's what Dazzle is. It's not only to put in attendance, but it's also to check attendance. So if it's second block, we do not do block attendance here at Trail. We only do first period attendance for the day. And then after that, when I take attendance in my second block classroom, if Jim Jones is missing, I look on Dazzle and it says, oh, Jim Jones called in sick. Or if it doesn't show him, I got to call the office and say, hey, Jim Jones was your first block, but he is not here in my class. And they say, we'll find him. Okay. So that's kind of how that works. Dazzle, again, this is a unique username and password. Mine's NTHS_BP, and you have to go and put in that drop down right there. It has two different things. Yours is one that's DSL for dazzle.swilken.net. Put in your password, and then you'll see under the teacher menu, you'll see daily attendance, and that's where you'll be able to put in your attendance. And then also under attendance, you'll be able to see your daily absent list. That's how I see if someone is here or is not here today, signed in late, tardy, whatever. And that's where the elementary school does their lunch counts as well and says who's going to be eating lunch today. That's Dazzle. I don't have a lot to say about Dazzle. We don't use it a whole lot, and I won't call myself an expert in any way, shape, or form on Dazzle, even though I am one of the Dazzle administrators. I do very little with it. That would be a Cindy Hope question if there's something, or one of your fellow teachers in your area that probably would be able to answer that better than myself because they use it the way you use it. Our student information system, we're going to do a whole class on Aubrey. Aubrey is a portal for parents to see the grades. They're uploaded for Moodle every single night. It also lets us see whether they're IEP or 504 and any of their testing scores, not just their IEP and their 504, but do they do the ACC? They do the Ohio State testing? Do they do MAP testing? All those things are uploaded in there for us to be able to see how our class did on stuff. We also use it behavior. We put in that stuff and it goes through, we'll learn about the behavior system. You can put in office referrals in there. If something happens in your classroom, you can put personal referrals in there just to remind yourself what happened. If you just wanted to keep a good record of something in case there was a follow on and a student has been a particular problem in your class, you handled it, but you wanted to keep record of it. That's you can do that in there as well. And then we're going to do a follow-on training or a training this week on Aubrey on some of the new things that we have available to us through Aubrey because we bought an expanded package this year on what Aubrey can do. It's kind of what Aubrey looks like. The Student 360, when we log on, there's some tabs there. We can see the student is on IEP. We can go to the plans. We can actually open or download the IEP. I don't download them. My preference, I can click on it, open and look at any time. I don't see a reason to go and download all those. We can also see all their scores and how do they do on different tests. All that data is in there as well for our students in Aubrey. So, Aubrey, we're going to get a follow-on training on. I just wanted to mention it here. I don't have this on here, which I should. Grade 7, I think it's just grade 7 through 12, also uses something called eHall Pass, which is how we do passes anytime a student's going to leave my classroom. It's really, really simple, and it's not something that we actually do because we're a one-to-one school. Students put in a pass request. I mean, we are on my speakers that someone requested to go to the bathroom, and I'll say, wait until we're at a pause in the lesson, and I'll say yes, or if I already paused, I just click on it and approve the pass, and then it lets them go to the bathroom on the eHall Pass. That's kind of school dependent and probably should go over that with one of your neighbors in the first week of school or so, or how eHall Pass works. I can't even show it to you because it's not loaded with students right now. So there's not a good way for me to show that. Last thing is Parent Square. We are a Parent Square district, which means that's our primary mode of communication for everything. I highly recommend you put the Parent Square app on your phone. Once you do that, then you can text back and forth with parents. If they have a message they send to you, it's kind of like a text. It's not a text. They never get to see or know your phone number. And no one expects people to do it till midnight or anything else. Your hours are your hours. But if someone's trying to contact you, it's an easy way. And if you do that, then you can get app messages, text messages, and email messages. So if we have a school cancellation or something happens, you know. It allows you to send messages to just your class, to certain grade levels, to either the staff members associated with it, the students associated with it, or the parents associated with it. Allows you to do permission forms with parents. Like if you're going on a field trip, you don't need to send a sheet home. You can do a parent square permission form and they sign it online, and you can see everybody who has permission to go on that particular trip. You can use it for signups for things, which is incredibly awesome. I'm the esports coach, and last year I totally forgot we were doing a girls basketball game, and they emailed me a couple days, literally think 2 days prior to the game, and said, "Hey, just a reminder, you guys have concessions for the JV and varsity girls basketball game." And I had taken, I'd forgotten about it completely. I went on Parent Square. I need 6 people for this time, 6 people this time. And I had already made an esports group on Parent Square with all the esports kids. And I set it up to all the kids and the parents. And in 15 minutes, I had every single slot filled. I knew exactly who was coming. It was wonderful. So I can't say how much we have, I think, come to like Parent Square in the district for all the things that it gives us for as communication-wise. When you log into Parent Square, you do it with your Google account, just like many of the other things we do. It's single sign-on through Google. So you go to log on to Parent Square, you say Google, and you already have to be on your signed into your Trail Google account, and then it will bring up your school, and it'll allow you to do posts to different groups or individuals. If you need training, it's down here on the side under Explore. And if you can't find it, because sometimes it's been hard for people to find the training, if you email me, I'll send you a link that goes to all the Parent Square training. There's tons of videos and stuff associated with Parent Square. And most of the things that we use, there's training already out there on YouTube that you can easily find the answer to your question when you go there. So that's what Parent Square, that's our communication device. Google accounts, I already went over how you log on and stuff. We do have mail groups on Google as well. I don't know if we even use those anymore, quite honestly, because of the fact that we've got all those groups in Parent Square. But if you wanted to email all the high school students, knowing that they would get the email on their laptop while they're here at school, if you just type in NTHS_students at nationaltrail.us, that will go to the students. 2026 at nationaltrail.us goes all the class of 2026 students. And in your online training that you should have been invited to by the district office that's on the website, it has a thing that goes over all the different groups that are already pre-made that you can use. The only thing I'm going to point out is that when you do these groups, please remember to put the group name in the BCC column. Don't send to NTHS students, send to BCC NTHS students. Well, you will open up a can of worms like you have never seen before with everyone. As soon as you've opened up allowing them to comment back to the entire group, where if you do it as a BCC, they can respond to you, but they can't respond to everybody else. And that goes with all the staff emails as well. Try to always post to the BCC, not to the send to line, or people will send back to the wrong thing. Log on, I don't know why I have this Firefox or Chrome district, bpool at nationaltrail.us, then your password. I am going to point out one thing, because I didn't realize this was a thing until recently. Please make sure when you log into Chrome that you log into Chrome. And what am I saying when I say that? So I'm going to go and pull this up here. So I've got this one tab. Many times people are logged in here and they're on Gmail and they think they're logged in. For instance, if I open up a new incognito tab and I go to Gmail and I log into Gmail here, I am not logged into Chrome. I'm only logged into Gmail. I'm logged into Chrome when I see my icon up here, and you see it's the same picture. It says school because it's a school account. And if I click on it, it says right down here, sync is on. If I log in and have sync on, then every single time I change it, I save a password, a shortcut, make a change on my account, it's synced up wherever I log on. If you don't do that, and I know many of you already know this, if you don't do that, then if I wipe your computer, you've lost all your bookmarks and all your passwords and everything, unless you are syncing. So when you log on, it's going to ask you, do you want to sync? And the answer should be yes. I highly recommend that. The other thing that once you're logged into your account on Chrome, you can go to your account. There we go. And I'm going to go to privacy and security right here. I have mine set to do right down here. Where's my dual factor authentication? Now I'm I'm going to go to right here. We're going to enter you in Google. You're going to go to manage your Google account. You're going to go to security, and then you see where it says two-step verification is on right there. I gotta log back in order to look at it. I turn on two-step verification, and what that does for me is it allows me, see right here, it says turn off. That yours would say turn on two-step verification. Mine says turn off. If you have that turned on, then when you log on to a new browser, I go and log on to a new computer that I have not logged on to before. As soon as I do that, then it texts my phone and I have to say, yes, I want to be on that browser. And it keeps anyone, if they even knew my password, they would have to get onto a computer that has my Google password, which, by the way, my Google password is not the same as my logon password. So that if I lose one, you have to know two passwords to get on my Google, right? You have to get on my computer, and then you have to know the Google password too. And then if you've never been on it before, it's going to text my phone. And if I don't say yes, it doesn't let you on the account. I would recommend doing that because you only have to do it one time on your teacher computer, and then you never have to do it again. Just that one time. It makes it so your account has got one more level of security. Okay, I've already said this on passwords. I recommend making them all the same. I just said my Google is not the same as my computer. Those are the only ones that are different because I really want Google to be more secure because I have so many passwords saved on it. I don't want anybody to be able to get in my Google account. That's why I use two-factor. And Google also is how I log into all these other things. So that one's different than my PC account. So basically I've got a PC account logged on. I got a Gmail account logged on. They should be complex, but easy for you to remember. Nobody knows my grandpa's middle name. And which grandpa am I talking about? Zitter or Pool? See, No one knows your mother's maiden name. Kids are not going to know that unless they do extensive research on you. So I do something like that. And then I add some numbers on the end. Frequently, it's the month and year or the day and month that I changed my password. And then I always add some complex characters to the end too. You just need to do you, but make sure it's something that's not too easy. I had one teacher who just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm like, that's why I had to set the complexity requirements, because I know you think that no one's going to know that, but even a fifth grader sitting there across the room will know your password if it's straight down the line of your keyboard. It just doesn't take that long for them to figure it out. And if they can get in your account, they can get into the school stuff too. So try to avoid that. Enough said on passwords. The only thing is all of them, except for Google, but all the login accounts here and Swelka require a change every year. So if you're on your computer and you can't get into Moodle and you think, did I change my password a year ago? You probably did. And it's probably hanging because the computer wants a password changed too. If you log out of your computer and then log back in, it will say, hey, you need to change your password. And then when you do, you'll get into Moodle. That happens all the time with around the October or September, August timeframe. We use a lot of G Suite here at National Trail, just not Google Classroom. We use Slides, we use Google Docs, we use Google Sheets, and we use YouTube. If you've got videos that you want to record like I do, and you put them in your class, YouTube's the place to be, because you can have unlimited number. You don't have that. None of mine can you search for and find that are from my classroom. Those are closed links only. So unless you're in my middle class and you click on the link, you won't be able to find that class that I taught that day. If you've got video that you want to have available, but you're worried about the content being allowable on YouTube, you can always make a Google Drive folder, share the Google Drive folder, and then put the video in there and share that link instead. Then it doesn't go through the YouTube clearance because it's not a shared YouTube thing anyway. Plus, that allows you, if you use a Google Drive, to say, this is only shared to people at National Trail, and nobody else can see whatever that, if you've got a classroom video that you're watching, like my wife does, Lorenzo Zoil, in her 7th grade science class, you can't put that on YouTube. You're showing into your class, but maybe a kid missed and you want them to be able to see the video. You can put it in a Google folder and link it to your class, and then only people that are logged into nationaltrail.us accounts can see that as well. Just a thought. Okay, welcome to National Trail. I know I went over a whole lot of technology. Hopefully, you've got your laptop out. The things that we need to know today. A, did you get into the laptop? Did you get into Google? Did you get into Moodle? And are the classes you're teaching on Moodle? If you're like, I'm teaching this and this and this, and they're not there, you need to email me, and I will get them set up, hopefully tonight, and they'll all be there for you tomorrow. You should already be assigned to Moodle training classes. Again, I highly recommend doing that. You will find that Moodle can save you thousands of hours with a few hours invested in it. There are teachers here that are still doing paper tests and spending hundreds of hours a year grading what Moodle would do in a second. And it's not just that, it's the data you get to. I know exactly which questions and what percentage of students missed each question. I know what I need to go over, what I need to review, because I get tons of data from Moodle that there's no way, even if I did the same paper test, I would ever have time to assimilate all that data and figure it out, and it's done instantly for me on Moodle. The other thing, you're going to hear I'm a Moodle fanboy. I am. Been administering it since I installed it in 2005, so I know it pretty well. There are some things it does that are fantastic. However, I do know that some people get lost in the minutia of, I've got to do this and this and this and this and this. I will tell you that one of the things you can do is set up the perfect assignment at the top of your Moodle. And then instead of going through redoing everything, you can duplicate it, rename it, and put the new verbiage in there every time and not have to keep. A lot of times people forget they can duplicate things and then just edit the duplicate, which is way easier than starting from scratch on things. There are a lot of people here at Trail that know how to do everything Moodle does. There are also people who don't. And I would highly recommend learning from some of the more experienced teachers that were here during that 2012, 13, 14 timeframe that all got that intensive training and will be able to help you out more. Again, don't ever hesitate to call me. I'm always here to help around it. Also, I'm after school all the time during esports season. I'm in the library after school every Monday through Thursday. And once esports gets going and they're playing games, I am more than happy to help you while I'm sitting there watching the hooligans do their esports stuff. I know it looks like I'm busy, but a lot of times I'm just there to supervise them playing esports. So after school, I'm in the library every Monday through Thursday, pretty much as long as I'm an esports coach. Okay. Again, Brian Poole, thank you very much. And hopefully you guys have a great school year. Thanks.